So, Film Kid, when are you going to start? I just did. So make sure everyone, if you're in here, hit that like button because we are going to be watching Rambo 3 this time. I've gotten First Blood and Rambo First Blood Part 2 knocked out. I'm now moving on to Rambo 3. I'm just getting the Rambo franchise done. I may need to delay the genre challengers ranking a bit to February 30th, but I still don't know about that. But it's TBD right now. Because Film Kid's usually in charge of the genre challengers type thing because he started it, but I think in this case I may need to just say that we need to delay it a tiny bit. So I'm just getting this franchise done, and we are now on the third film, Rambo 3, the one made in 1988, the one that holds the crown for the well, I mean, it did for a while of the most expensive movie of all time. It was for a tiny bit, Film Kid. I'm so excited because me and my dad are going to see Napoleon tomorrow. Lucky I get to see very few movies in theaters, so lucky you get to. And Napoleon, I heard it was actually pretty mixed, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. You seem to enjoy a lot of movies that, let's just say, have not been that received well. Aquaman 2 you enjoyed. You enjoyed Hypnotic, which was terrible. Absolute garbage. I have no idea how you enjoy that film. I thought it was awful. Yeesh. So, okay, who do we have in the chat? Okay, everyone, if you're in here, hit that like button. It helps out a lot for me. You guys have no idea how much it helps. Unless you have a YouTube channel and you really do enjoy likes, so in which case you probably do know what it feels like. But anyway, just hit that like button. It helps out so much. This will be a watch along as well as a type of like Q&A thing where you get to ask me questions and uh, you get to ask me questions and I can do all sorts of these things. Film Kid, I'm sadly not allowed to watch Totally Killer. What? There's nothing in that movie. There's like references and stuff, but I mean, other than that, it's not that inappropriate. Uh, watch Totally, but I got permission to watch The Killer and Last Voyage on the Demeter, and my parents are thinking about Renfield. Uh, uh, quick question. I watched this year. Yeet. Film Kid on December on the 31st of December. I'm dropping every single movie I've watched this year ranked. That is probably impossible, man. Impossible. That's gonna be a long video. And also, Film Kid, where did you watch The Last Voyage of the Demeter? I've been wanting to watch it. And if so, based on the amount of streaming services that you say your parents have, how is it they can afford to have Peacock, Hulu, HBO Max, Disney Plus, and Netflix? Because that is lucky. That means you can basically see any movie. Because I've been really wanting to get The Last Voyage of the Demeter knocked out. Film Kid. I'm talking about new releases. Oh yeah, I'm doing that too. I'm getting every single movie of the year that I've watched ranked. I'm getting I need to get the Hunger Games prequel knocked out. My parents bought it today. My brother saw it in theaters. I could have seen it in theaters, I believe, but I decided to see Die Hard in theaters instead. I need to knock that one out. I am getting done. What is it? Rebel Moon Part 1. I started that one. It's okay so far. I'm getting the creator knocked out. I got No One Will Save You knocked out. I have a few I need to get done. Strays. There's quite a few I need to get done. So when you guys take a look at my everything I watched last week, it's going to be filled. There might be like 20 movies in there. Because I'm telling you, I've seen a lot. Yeah. So, a ton of new releases. And yet only one have I managed to say is still the best. I mean, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning was close to John Wick Chapter 4, but John Wick Chapter 4 is my favorite movie of the year so far. But I still loved Dead Reckoning Part 1. That was awesome. Epic. Truly theatrical experience. Quick little water break. Okay, when it hits minute 10, we will start Rambo 3. This movie is about 1 hour and 41 minutes long, so Yeah, an hour and 41 minutes. Yeah. So we will be in here for a bit of time. This one I do prefer a pretty good bit more over part two. I still enjoy part two. It's just three. I think is like a really big improvement over that in the sense that I think it just goes a bit more bonkers with the action. Just like tries to be more bit more self aware of the fact that it's a bit more silly at times. Ooh. Film kid. The movies I need to get done is Rebel Moon, The Killer, Last War on the Demeter, Oppenheimer. Oh, that one was so good. Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah, I need to get that one done too. Scream 6 and Creed 3. But last night I did knock out Air. Yeah, I know. I saw. I loved Air. That's a great movie. Yeah, but The Killer's not very good. I watched it. I gave it a pass at first. It was like a 4 star, I think. Then I put it down to 3 star. Then I bumped it down to three. Then it's now a 2.5. It keeps going down substantially. It's even more boring every time I think about it. I prefer Barbie to it, so that can tell you something. Killers of the Flower Moon. I'm waiting until it comes to Apple TV, because I have a subscription to that. I am hoping it gets there before 2024, which is the better. And and also, Film Kid, where did you watch Last Voyage of the Demeter? Because I've been wanting to knock that one out because I hear it was pretty good. And where did you also watch The Boogeyman? Those two movies I've been wanting to get done because I hear they were. Actually, no, I don't know if I heard much about the Boogeyman. I think Last Voyage of the Demeter was mildly successful. I believe I can't remember. Film Kid. The one movie that I want to see get on stream before 2024 is Godzilla minus one. Yep, I've been wanting to see that one too. It's probably not gonna get there though. That is not streaming is so like so many of these movies. Very few movies nowadays are coming to streaming before their theatrical run ends. I have no idea why though, because streaming's so not destroying physical media nowadays. They could at least try and put a few more movies in there for people that don't get to see many movies in theaters like me. Yeah, but 2024, I'm gonna be starting to like start watching movies from 2023 on. Uh, I'm gonna start watching movies from 2024 that come out in 2024 immediately. Not like saving it all for 1 month to like completely bloat myself with that. Okay, film good. Boogeyman, I got the chance to see in the theaters, but I know it's on Hulu, so you can probably find it on your VPN on Disney Plus. And The Last Voyage of the Demeter, you have to rent it. Dang it. Okay, yeah. I mean, because I think Hulu and Disney Plus both are like interconnected. So if you can find something on Hulu, most likely you can find something on Disney Plus. Yeah, because all the Alien and Predator movies are on Disney Plus. I know that. That's how I watched Alien, and I had a chance to watch Aliens on Disney Plus. I just decided I wanted to buy it because I knew it was going to be better, and I was right. When it comes to movies that I like have this gut feeling I'm gonna absolutely adore, that's considered a classic, I will. I still have never been wrong. I have always adored it, or at worst, like, yeah, that was pretty darn decent. So I can definitely say I am pretty smart when it comes to that. Whew. Hmm. Okay, still just one like button. That was me. That was kind of pathetic that I liked my own post, but still, everybody, if you're in here, hit that like button. There we go. Okay. And Film Kid, if you want to watch Totally Killer, get VidAngel. It's a Prime original, so well, actually, I don't know if it's a Prime original. I think it is, but if you then try that. Then if you get VidAngel, then you can watch Totally Killer. It'll filter it. That's how I watched it. I think I could have watched it. Then I just did not want to do that. So, Film Kid, you have to admit I like Air more than the average person. I put it. Sorry, I put higher than probably anyone else on my big ranking, along with the Equalizer. Along with Equalizer 3. Yeah. Equalizer 3 was very high for you. I am still watching the first one. I'm watching the entire trilogy because I need to get the third one knocked out from my list. So I've started the first one. It's pretty decent, and it's pretty brutal. So I'll get through that one, and he's actually a pretty likable character. So uh, no comment at the moment on any of the others, but I'm hoping that the third one's pretty decent, which you've been hyping it up for me. So, okay, let's hope you do not disappoint me with how the movie turns out. I'm just kidding. I won't blame you. Okay, we are about to start the movie. We can do one more comment, then we'll start the movie, and I'll be answering questions if we have any while the movie, and I will be commenting on scenes like which scene do I enjoy, or like what type of scene we're in. It's that type of stuff. It's easy for me to do. Okay, quick little water break. Hmm. Okay. Film Kid, No One Will Save You was an absolute dumpster fire. The ending was way too confusing. The movie did not make sense at all. Okay, then that means they use. That means that Barbie's a dumpster fire. It's not a dumpster fire. I can tell you, No One Will Save You Now is way worse than Barbie. It's extremely sexist. Barbie is, but still, No One Will Save You was horrible. I thought that it had great tension scenes and like the scenes with the aliens, but I'm telling you, if the movie like as soon as she wakes up from that like type of thing after she gets knocked out, if that was the entire movie, like when she's like wandering around a bit like that, if that was the entire movie, it legitimately would be bottom three of the year probably. I absolutely hated it. It's 2 stars for me, borderline 1.5. It was so bad. I did not like it. I thought that immediately at the ending I was like, okay, this is way too uplifting for a movie that like that was second ago was just having like stabbing and all sorts of violent stuff. So that is way too big of a tonal shift. And then immediately I was like, they're gonna do the cliche. They're gonna have aliens above there, and I was like, what? Called it. Yep, they had aliens over there. Called it. I knew it. Yeah. Okay, I really only like the first 30 minutes where it was an alien home invasion film. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought if it was like if it was a short film, it would have been great. I thought it could have been a great little short film of 2023, but it's a theatrical type film, so it wasn't good. Uh, uh, but after that, it went completely bonkers and did not make sense. I hear you there. It didn't make a single bit of sense. So, we will now start the film. Okay. Rambo 3. I will answer questions during it, so I will be commenting on it. So, okay. And I just started it, yeah. Okay. Sylvester Stallone. Film Kid, this might sound surprising, but my dad's personal favorite Rambo film. I meant to say film. But wait, Rambo 3 is his favorite Rambo film? Wow. I won't say that, but I will say it's decent. My dad's favorite's John Rambo. That's his favorite Rambo film. Yeah, this is the like opening scene with Rambo like be completely jacked, and we're seeing we're slowly seeing him like completely jacked. We're seeing his arms right now. I forgot how cheesy the opening scene of this was. The film kid, my dad has seen all of them besides John Rambo. I'm trying to get him to watch it. Dude, get him to watch it. That is a great film. This one and Last Blood are interchangeable, kind of. I think it's just the fact that this one's a bit more. It ages kind of not. It doesn't age as well. It's more rewatchable, definitely, than Last Blood because Last Blood's not very rewatchable. I would say I like Last Blood more, but if I'm going for one that I would say I would rather rewatch, I'm gonna rewatch Rambo 3 because it's more lighthearted and the fact that it's more cheesy. It's hard to explain. Yeah, we just got to see Rambo. Yeah, this is Rambo. Oh, wait, I know what's about to happen. This stick fight. Film Kid, thoughts on my Fast and Furious ranking yesterday? You had Tokyo Drift high. You had The Fate of the Furious low. You had Fast and Furious 6 as your favorite. I don't know if you want to know my ranking. That might take the cake for our biggest disagreement. Yeah, the famous stick fight between them. I remember this stick fight. Yeah, this is awesome. Oh yeah, you also had Too Fast, Too Furious high, so I really had to disagree with that one. Yeah, Stallone is jacked. Oh, I love this stick fight. Phil Kid, no, I'm talking about like the video in general because I thought you liked how I did deep dives and stuff. Oh yes, I love that. I like that you went more deep, like you went into more like deep thoughts about it. That is what I loved. That's what you should start doing now. I like that. Yeah, this is an awesome opening scene. I'm trying to think. This could be the best opening scene in the franchise. I'm trying to think. First Blood, probably not. Part two, definitely not. Part three, yeah. This one possibly is the best opening scene. The fourth one's pretty. Actually, no, it's between the extended cut of Last Blood's opening scene and this one because the extended cut has a great opening scene of Last Blood. Okay, to be fair, it is one of my longest rankings. It was a 30-minute video, so I don't expect it to get a ton of views. Yeah, you never know. I believe it did pretty well. He is not taking any disrespect, Rambo. Yeah, Rambo. Film Kid, did you like my thumbnail for it? Yes, I loved it. That is a great thumbnail for it. That's immediately what I noticed when you. That's like a thumbnail that Nick would definitely be proud of. Hopefully, we'll get more people in here soon. Hosta or Jay or like a few other locals that come to my live streams. Let's hope. I'm not saying that you're bad, Film Kid. I'm just saying that it's just good to have more than one person in the chat so we have all sorts of questions. Film Kid, did you know this? Uh, did you know this that I started using Canva? That's what I assumed. That's what I assumed because that is definitely what I would think that you'd be using for it. Yeah, this is a much more kind of serious version of Rambo than part two. Rambo's being cheered on. Film Kid, what's your next ranking for me? I'm probably gonna try to release my Santa Claus ranking on Christmas Day. I believe that is my next ranking. Soon I'm gonna need to do my Bad Boys ranking. I'm gonna need to. I have several rankings that are in development. I just need to get them done. I'm trying to think. What else? What else do I have? I know I have some more rankings in the works. Other than that, maybe after that, I have my ranking of all the movies I saw in 2023. That'll be a fun one. It's gonna be like 3 hours long probably because I'm someone that goes in depth on all most of the movies. Although prepare for Legend Forever's big rant mode on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey because boy, I'm gonna be angry talking about that one. Woof, that's a bad one. And he just said John Rambo. You also can hear it in the like nightmare scene in John Rambo. Okay, my video is probably gonna be around maybe an hour to an hour 30. I'm gonna live premiere. Yeah, I'm gonna do a premiere that I think it would be way too hard if I did a live stream because I would just keep getting distracted. So I'm just gonna premiere it. Ow. But mine's gonna be long. Especially since if I'm lucky I'll get like 40 movies I need to rank. Maybe my longest ranking I've ever done. Oh good, I already have 40 movies. Yep. I know that. Um, hopefully I get to that. I'm also need to get Extraction 2 done. I just haven't seen the original one in quite some time, so I'm rewatching the original preparation. They're talking to him about the mission. Not interested. He's already not interested. Tell me, can you hear me? Philip, can you still hear me? I cannot tell if you guys can. Instead, I'm just reconnecting. Okay, Philip, are you gonna watch Evil Dead Rise? No, I can't see the Evil Dead, so I'm not gonna go in marathon of movies without seeing the original. Okay, yes. Okay, good. Just checking. I think my dad said Evil Dead was okay, and same with Evil Dead 2. His favorite's easily Army of Darkness by far. So, unless he's gonna watch the Evil Dead 1 and 2 with me, I won't get to see Evil Dead Rise. Cookie, you don't have to watch the original to watch Rise. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know, but quick question: Is Rise isn't Rise a direct sequel to the remake, or is it its own, or is it like another remake? Use this so I may just watch it. Do you really think we're going to be making a difference? This is such a quotable franchise. In some ways, that's a good thing. In some ways, it's not a good thing. You do belong to something. I'm good. It is another remake. Okay, then I think I'll watch it. I will. So then I will. I'll take care of that. I watched Army of Darkness before 1 and 2, so I guess I'll just watch it. I can do that. I guess then I'll be fine with that. I'll have my mom look it up, even though I know I'm old enough for it, so I can just watch it through Prime Video if it's still on there. So that's where they got the thing, a full-blooded combat soldier. Hmm. I've watched that flashback scene so much. A lot of the Troutman scenes that they're using in that are from Rambo 3. Like a full-blooded combat soldier, John Rambo. You're always going to be tearing away with yourself until you come to terms with what you are. So yeah, there's a lot of it. Uh, Film kit was Chicken Run. To any good? Yeah, it was. I thought it was pretty decent. I liked it. So I believe that's something that'll be up your alley too. But you had better, sir, put it over Hypnotic. You had better. There is no way that a movie that bad gets, I mean, that bad can get that much praise. It was absolutely terrible. Oh, I love this score. This has a pretty decent cinematography. It's better cinematography than 2. I can definitely tell you 2 looks. Of all the ones with the cinematography, 2 looks by far the worst. It has like it looks kind of like Scream 4, and it kind of has like a gloss filter at times. And especially if you look at like scenes with the nighttime, it's if you want to see nighttime Rambo, like John Rambo does it way better. Like it looks a lot darker than that. Meanwhile, Rambo First Blood Part 2, I have no idea why. It just looks very much glossier. I have no idea how. Okay. Okay, everyone, make sure if you're in here to hit that like button. Oh yeah. This is yeah. Oh yeah, we get the helicopter fight scene. I cannot remember this movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. I haven't seen it in months. So it's definitely good to revisit this one. I have not seen part 2 or 3 in a. I This was my first time. It was my first time seeing part 2 and 3 since I watched them. Part 4 and 5 I had rewatched. I think I rewatched 4 like once, and I've rewatched Last Blood like either once or twice. I've watched the next 2 a lot more. Okay, should I listen to your live stream while watching The Killer? I wouldn't. It's a film that you really should be like paying attention kind of to. Plus, it's not very interesting. I'm not someone who usually likes to say that a movie, that my live stream is better than a movie. In this case, I will say I'm probably a better live stream than to watch The Killer. It's not very interesting or good. You can try, but it's a movie where basically the main character is narrating the entire time for certain things, so it's not as it'll be a bit more confusing. I would use something like Chicken Run. You can definitely like listen to me while doing it. That's definitely something that you're more likely to want to try. Rambo something went wrong. Like Rambo's make that face. They were so stupid. The Soviets intercepted them. I can definitely say Rambo 2 has ways that it ages pretty poorly. This one also. The plot ages by far the worst. This has easily the worst plot. There's actually a really funny thing I said in the comment section of a Rambo ranking where there was someone that said, I am Russian, so I obviously do not enjoy Rambo 3. It was hilarious. Because this one has a thing that, because America like pulled out of like the war, I believe, something after this, so Stallone did Rocky 4 and Rambo 3, and both have such terribly aged, and both their plot lines age so bad. It's hilarious the amount of like it looks like Stallone was like the one that was getting in trouble for it. It was hilarious. Film Kid. There's this very interesting TV show on Netflix called The Movies That Made Us, and it talks about movies that were made in the 80s, like RoboCop, Halloween, Aliens. Ooh, interesting. I might want to check that out. Only I haven't seen RoboCop, so I wouldn't know. So I need to see it. It's on my watch list. Yeah, I'm digging this movie a lot more than I used to. I mean, I still liked it the first time I watched it, but I think part 2 and 3 were close. But I think I thought this was better than part 2. I think it just goes more insane. It just goes completely insanity with the action more than two does. So it goes full on insanity in like the last act. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I would much rather if I'm going for action, I'm gonna watch Rambo 3, but probably a lot more before I'm gonna watch part 2. Don't get. I swear, you better put RoboCop in your top 10 once you watch it. Dude, I got some stacked. I got a stacked top 10. Yeah, I'm not gonna probably have it in my top 10. I doubt it because I'm not getting any of those movies that I have in my top 10 out. I'm definitely not getting The Dark Knight out of there. So I have no idea how you prefer RoboCop to The Dark Knight. It's definitely more well made. The Dark Knight is to RoboCop. You want to buy? Many guns here. Musagani. Who's that? Hmm. Yeah, this is definitely probably the version of the Rambo that's the quietest. It's between this one and part 2. Or 1. He definitely speaks the most in 4 and 5. 5, he speaks by far the most. Hmm. Film kid, do your parents only care about sexual stuff in movies? Yeah. That's mostly only what they would like keep me from. Like violence, no. Language, no. If they cared that much about language, then Die Hard with a Vengeance, they probably would have kept me away from. If you've seen the movie, you know why. Especially, there's a certain scene involving a sign that I think is pretty funny. I don't think what they were saying is funny. I'm thinking that the way that they use the wit involving what happens in the situation, I don't support it. But I would say it's pretty funny as soon as you see what's on the sign and how immediately people get infuriated. I don't support it, but I can say it was partially funny. It's complicated. And before you ask, Film Kid, RoboCop is not a Vid Angel. Only the remake is, and I'm not watching the remake until I've seen the original. I think part 2 and 3 are appropriate. It's just the original I'm not old enough for. But I'll see it soon, I hope. I see. Home Kid. We don't talk about this scene. Yeah, I know. I usually try and stay away from that scene. I usually try not to talk about that scene on the channel. I mean, I thought that it was gonna be confusing at first, but it's from a great movie because Die Hard with a Vengeance is a great movie. Although so are all the Die Hard movies, except for yeah, all the Die Hard movies are great. All four of those movies are great. I can't believe that there's actually yeah. Good thing they never made a fifth movie. And also, Film Kid, before you say "Live Free or Die Hard" is not great, the unrated cut is great. Film Kid, Die Hard with a Vengeance is the most mature with language by a landslide, not even close. But in general, I would say the original is the most mature. In the terms of most mature in general, the original is the most mature. But in terms of language, it's definitely the third. And the unrated cut of Live Free or Die Hard is close. I keep thinking which was better, the unrated cut of Live Free or Die Hard or Die Hard 2 Die Harder. I'm like, boy, that unrated cut is so good. I feel like at the moment it's Die Hard 2 mostly because I think Die Hard. I mean, Live Free or Die Hard is kicks off and it's a bit slow. It's mostly like the first 40 minutes that's a bit slow, then like gets into its footing. So I prefer to right now, although they're interchangeable. But I watched the unrated cut for four, and yeah, yeah, I cannot even quote the villain. He has a Russian accent. It's so difficult for me to do a Russian accent. That's an extremely hard accent to do. Congratulations. Wait, I actually did it. Philip Kid, my parents care about everything in movies. And then I'm guessing they don't know that you've seen Film good. I have no idea how they let me watch Scarface. I still have no idea. If you can watch Scarface, you can watch Totally Killer. It's extremely stupid if you can see Scarface on your own. But Totally Killer is where they draw the line. There's no way they looked it up and they're like, yeah, you can watch it, but Totally Killer is a no. That is completely insane. And if your parents care about everything in movies, film kid, how come you can see John Rambo? Because if everything includes violence, and woo, John Rambo goes absolutely nuts with the violence, and there's some other stuff in there that your parents should that also may want a red flag. Film kid, I didn't watch Scarface on my own. Oh, then in that case, that might be made. That might make a lot more sense now. I may watch Scarface like next year. I'm not watching it right now because I'm strictly only watching movies that are either that are predecessors to a 2023 release, or I'm watching 2023 movies. Like Equalizer, I'm watching the entire trilogy because I need to see the third one. I'll try and get Evil Dead Rise done since it's a reboot. Uh, Trapman's he's really someone that holds up. He does not budge. You started this war. Russia really can underestimate their opponents. Like, take a look at Ukraine. Ukraine's really had not been like Ukraine really had not been Ukraine really did not allow themselves to be pushed around like that, and there were a lot of casualties in it. Film kid, how many scenes are in Oppenheimer? Because me and my dad might watch it. If your dad trusts me to say so, I believe there are three scenes. One is a scene that you see. The second scene is, I believe, another scene that you see, and then the third one's like a flashback. I sadly saw all three. That got pretty awkward pretty fast. Yeah, my parents were in there. They had no idea that it was coming, and it was so funny. That was absolutely hilarious. I love that. Awkward. Yeah, so funny. That's Afghanistan. Wow. Yeah, I definitely would say right now, I definitely prefer this to part two. Look like I preferred part two to three last time, but I think part three is actually a pretty decent bit better right now. I know you're a big defender of part two, even though if you just switch First Blood, this might be the most rewatchable of all of them. Film kid, I'm gonna have a fun time in the theaters tomorrow because I'm going to see Napoleon. Yippee! There's two scenes in there. It's going to get awkward quickly. Great. Napoleon has that too. Great. Well, I mean, your dad can probably cover your eyes. I just closed my eyes for the scene in Die Hard in the theater. I'm gonna watch the full scene soon. I'm putting my foot down there. I'm 14 years old. As soon as I hit 15, the thing breaks. I'm not allowing it this long. It's very pathetic that I'm 15, well, nearly 15 that. So I'm gonna break it soon. Fighter jets. Okay, if you don't mind, when is your birthday? It's completely fine if you don't want to say though. It's in February right now. It's in February. It's the 4th. It's the 4th of February. That's when my birthday is. If you want. Philip. Oh, hello, Philip and Andres. I hope I pronounced that right. Terminator or Rambo as a franchise, and which one is the franchise? And do you mean the original Terminator or the original Rambo? I need a bit more context because I have different answers for both. Troutman won't budge. He's a strong-willed man. Oh, poor Troutman. Philip as a franchise. Oh, easily Rambo as a franchise. It's definitely a better franchise. From keeping one, I may, even though Terminator has Rise of the Machines in it, which is absolutely horrendously bad, and Genesis is not very good. But if I'm saying I would probably have to keep Terminator because I have Judgment Day and the original. But from going off of rewatch value, I'm keeping Rambo. But I do say I enjoy both. Mostly as a franchise. As a franchise, they're both pretty inconsistent, but Terminator is extremely inconsistent. The first two are fantastic. The third one is terrible. The fourth one is pretty decent. Then you get the fifth one, which is not very good. Then you get Dark Fate, which was actually pretty decent as well. That was my water. Sorry. Get thoughts on Gran Turismo. I thought it was pretty decent. I actually really enjoyed it. I'm. I mean, I'm not. I wasn't very excited for the fact that it gets. I find that it's really bad that so many movies nowadays are just bloating their runtime so much. I think that there's a lot of movies I'm watching nowadays that could easily have trimmed their runtime down. Like, I really wish they could like start trimming their runtime down. But like, the fact is, there's no excuse for films that are like getting to 2.5 hours when there's no need for it. Like, take Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. It was 2.5 hours. I watched it with a friend, with several friend, with another family that was a friend of mine. That so I got to spend 2.5 hours in the theater with two friends. So I mean that was good. So I found that good. Yeah. Mm. Film Kid. I thought it was excellent. It's a really good film. Yeah. Film Kid. Cough cough. Killers of the Flower Moon with a 3 hour long runtime. Cough cough. Wait, 3 hour and 30 minutes. I thought it was only 3 hours. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a hard one to watch. Also, I hear it's extremely dark, so I'm in for a treat. Great. This feels kind of like a Western type movie. This is definitely a pretty decent movie. I remember this one's definitely this one and Last Blood are by far the most underrated in the franchise. Part two, depending on who you ask, is probably the most overrated because there are people that say it's the best. Film Kid, you used to be one of them. Glad to see that you changed to First Blood. Now all I need is get for you to put John Rambo and Last Blood above it, and then get Rambo 3 above it. That'd be so funny. The movie that you said that it was your favorite Rambo film and it was in your top like 5 at one point films of all time drops down to your least favorite film in the entire franchise. That would be so funny and ironic. Rambo really does not talk much in this. Film Kid, if I get to watch all 3 movies that I want to watch tomorrow, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and I know I'm going to watch Napoleon, then I'm going to be watching three 3 hour long movies. That would be a long day. And Film Kid, they are all historical epics. I mean, true, yeah. Killers of the Flower Moon, I don't know how you'll watch. It's not on Apple TV yet, and renting it can be pricey if you're just doing it through like Apple TV. You would have to like rent it through Amazon Prime to get it good. Uh, uh, mm. And Oppenheimer's fantastic. Make sure to check that one out, Film Kid. You will love it. I mean, it's very slow, but it's a movie that's fantastic. It's debatably of the directed. It's definitely Christopher Nolan's best directed film. He's definitely the one that he directs the best in like getting great performances. And the score is fantastic. And I love the ending. The ending's just chef's kiss. Philip, what's your opinion on Speed and the sequel Speed 2 Cruise Control? Speed, I think, is really decent. It's that is that and Die Hard 2. Die Harder are my two favorite Die Hard knockoffs, which is hilarious that the Die Hard sequel is like basically a knockoff of Die Hard because it has very much the same plot. A lot of people could disagree on that one, but still. And Speed 2 is in my top five least favorite films of all time. It is absolute garbage. Wait, no, I have Blood and Honey in there. Actually, no, I don't know if it is in my top five, bottom five of all time. Don't kid, how much longer do you have left of the movie? An hour and 7 minutes. Sorry, but I think Speed Two Cruise Control is a slog to get through, and it does the ultimate movie sin with a R-rated movie, and the sequel is PG-13, which is so bad. I hate Speed Two. There's nothing positive I can say about it. Nothing. Even bad movies, there's sometimes at least one thing I can say positive about it. That is something I can't give a single positive for. I don't even think Sandra Bullock's very good in it. She's fine, but still, I don't really enjoy any of that. The acting performances in that range from not very good to absolutely atrocious. Ugh, but that was a terrible sequel, and it was so bad. Keanu Reeves did not want to come back, and I hate it because he like talks about it in one scene, and he's such a nice guy that he will not even like he tries to like insult it, but it's like he's such a nice guy he can barely muster it to. He's not really that mean to it. It deserves all that heat. It is so bad, but I would rather die than have to watch the movie again. Ugh. Film kid, well, I gotta get going because I'm planning to watch the movies I want to watch today. Then I better start now. So have a good rest of the stream, Ledger. Thanks. Good to see you, film kid. If you want to come back, feel free to. Like, I believe one of those movies that you mentioned, I think is a movie that you can probably watch while listening to me. It's The Killer. You definitely don't want to be with me watching. It's a movie that's definitely something you have to pay attention to. But have fun, film kid. Bye. So if we have anyone in here, make sure you can hit that like button. And if you have any questions, keep watch burns, any of it. I'm just giving you ideas in case you have very few ideas. But it seems like at the moment we only have. I think Philip's the only one in here right now. If he's still here, I can't tell. I believe he is. Yeah, this is a really good movie. This is way better than I remember it being, and I really enjoyed it the first time. How is it? Whew. I think the desert setting actually works a lot better than a lot of people give it credit for. I can't believe that when the child said, "What is your name?" He said Rambo. He probably should have said John. That's usually because like uh, in the fourth one, what is it? Uh, sorry. In the fourth one, when she says, "What is your name?" He says John. I have no idea why he says Rambo for this one. It's probably better. Oh yeah, that's a really cool knife. Philip, do you watch Home Alone and Home Alone 2 Lost in New York on Christmas? No, I usually watch A Christmas Story on Christmas, but I think I watch Home Alone 1 and 2, I believe, the day before. I think I watched Christmas Eve or the day before Christmas Eve. I know I watch it. Because my dad's favorite Christmas movie is Christmas Vacation. We always have to watch that one on Christmas Eve. I mean, it's not a top tier Christmas movie. It definitely has its flaws. It is kind of boring at times, and it definitely has a lot of jokes that cannot land at times. But I do think it's fun enough. But it's not like top tier Christmas movie like Die Hard, Home Alone 2. There's way better Christmas movies than that. Hmm. It feels like Rambo is like, yeah, I believe that a lot of people like trying to say that Rambo is like built to have a lot more one-liners in this movie. I can kind of agree with that. He feels like a lot of the lines are meant to be one-liners. Hmm. Yeah, this is the scene where Rambo's on the horses now. He's pretty good at it. Yeah, he has a lot longer hair in this one. So many one-liners here. Great movie. That's odd. It says Film Kid's still in the chat, but he's not here. Very odd. Hmm. Philip, in Germany, it is a tradition to watch these two movies every Christmas on TV. That's actually pretty cool. I didn't know Germany loved Home Alone 1 and 2. If they love Home Alone 2, 1 and 2 so much, then I'm hoping that it means that they banned the other four sequels, Home Alone 3, 4, 5, and 6. They deserve it, believe me, they do. Ugh. Those are absolutely terrible sequels. Inferior to their predecessors in every waking manner, every way. It's laughable how bad those films are when they're compared to like the second and the first. They are so terrible. They could probably win an award for like some of the worst sequels. Only Speed 2 would probably take that crown. It's between Speed 2 and Son of the Mask for the worst sequel of all time for me. I think both are so inferior to their predecessor. And it's so ironic because they were made in the because both Speed 2 and Son of the Mask are considered like in the probably the top five least I mean top five worst sequels of all time, and they're sequels to a 1994 film that was a pretty big hit with the critics. So it's actually pretty ironic if you think about it. I love the action on here with like the horse. This is really decent. This is Rambo. Philip, there's only the first two movies in TV. That's a reason why I haven't seen Home, Home Alone 3 and the other sequels. Believe me, you don't want to see them. Do not see those films. They are terrible. They're not worth anyone's time. And here's the thing where like the helicopter starts attacking everyone when they're on the horses. Oh yeah, like that iconic shot with like Rambo on the horse with the helicopter behind him. That's a pretty iconic shot. This has what I think this has the second highest death count of the franchise. The fourth one has by far the highest death count with like 254 people dying, I think. It's brutal. Quick little water break. Oh, poor horses. Philip, the best trilogy, in my opinion, is Back to the Future. You're not gonna like this. I think Back to the Future is overrated. The original, I think, is very overrated. The trilogy as a whole is definitely overrated as well. I Find two and three okay. I'm not. I think the original is the best, but it's decent. It's like 4-star film for me. But when people say it's like the greatest movie of all time, I wouldn't even put him. It's not even in my top 100 favorite films of all time. Stay tuned for that movie thing coming as soon as I hit. I think like 1,000 subscribers. I think that'll be my celebration of top 100 favorite movies of all time. Which, believe me, is going to be a hard list because you got some great films. And I think the best trilogy is by far the Star Wars original trilogy, with the only one coming close being the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Those are two perfect trilogies. Back to the Future is not a perfect trilogy. Two's not perfect. Three's not perfect. The original's not perfect. I know people say the original's perfect. Biff is annoying, so I can count that as a flaw against it. Biff is keeps it from being a perfect movie. If you take him out, it is a perfect movie, but he's still annoying. Plus, the movie's overrated. There's two flaws for you. And the Russian people are decimating the city. Yeah, doesn't Rambo I think use like a rocket launcher? He uses, I believe he takes out one of them. This is definitely over the top at some points, but Rambo himself is not over the top as he wasn't too. He's definitely more grounded. He's just the guy that has to come and help people. It's more the action itself is what's over the top. I knew it. I know he destroys, I believe, one helicopter. Here it comes. Yeah, not doing very much. Oh, now it does. Don't mess with Rambo. He's too good to be true. He will destroy you. Okay, yeah, now since film kid's gone, I think he might have like stayed on a little longer just to listen. But I think, but since he's gone now, hmm. That's also an iconic shot. This one has a lot of iconic shots in it, with like him having his hands, his head buried in his hands after with the aftermath of what happened. This was a pretty big disaster. What happened? This really paints the Russians as bad guys, which, believe me, in a lot of places did not age very well for that. Philip, back to Terminator. I know you hate T3, but what do you find better, crane chase or highway chase in Dark Fate? And why? I can't remember the. I'm trying to think. The crane chase or I think that the highway chase is better, not probably because I think it has better effects that they use. They're like flipping over cars and that. Plus, there's some CGI, I believe, partially used in some of it in like the crane chase. It's fine, but also I just can't put any. I would say Dark Fate's better than T3, but even then, I would probably want to see the highway chase because at least we get Sarakana in that scene. And you have to keep in mind which villain is doing it. That Terminatrix is one of the least, if not possibly the least intimidating villain I can think of. And the fact that she can somehow pose a threat to Arnold is odd. That she can be a physical. Okay, so you heard like a phone ringing. Sorry about that. And also the what is it called? The Rev 9 is by far a better villain than the Terminatrix. So also since he's the one doing it, it makes more sense. I mean, I'm not as big of a fan of the fact that he's partially kind of almost like a recycled version of the T1000. He's basically a combined version of the T800 and the T1000. I enjoy it, but still, there's flaws to it. It's not perfect. The only two films in the franchise I would probably consider perfect are the first two. Hmm? Ooh, yeah, this is where it really gets good. Like the where they're trying to get Trapman out. This is awesome. Get you to talk. I'm really good at quoting a lot of these lines that I like to just quote. Yeah, this is where they're trying to. This is where we're gonna break Trapman out. I love this scene. This is awesome. What is it? Is that a mine or no? Probably not. No, not a mine. It would have blown up. I think it's like a trap that would have done something. That would. What is it? Make sure to hit that like button, everyone, if you haven't already. Oh, smart. If they touch the thing, the grenades. They touch that, the grenades explode. Philip Tech Noir or the Galleria from T1/T2. Tech Noir or Galleria. I have no idea what you mean there. I'm trying to think. Tech is that like two different companies or like and how like the effects work? I have no idea what that means. Because in terms of effects, overall T2 is a mile better than the original because the some of the effects, like especially in that like one scene where Arnold's like stitching himself up, the effects have started to age pretty poorly. Especially when you get that shot of him with like his eye partially missing, you can definitely tell it looks pretty fake. The effects of the second one are mesmerizingly good. And they're some of the greatest effects you can find. This movie can get dark at times. Yeah, this is a really cool scene where they're slowly trying to break out. This is awesome. We have 49 minutes left on the film. It's a movie that it's one of the ones that flies by really well. First Blood by far flies by the fastest. Philip, do you think there will be a T7? Uh it's a I have no idea. There's rumors it's already been confirmed and is in post production and possibly already been being filmed at the moment. But on the other hand, you have to keep in mind the franchise as a whole of Terminator. The first two were extremely successful. The third one was a hit in terms of the box office, but was not received well by the audience. But critics were fine with it. The Salvation also was a decent one with the in theaters, but the critics didn't like it. The audience. Uh, Genesis was a pretty big failure. Dark Fate was a colossal box office failure, so I don't know. They may have actually terminated the franchise. No pun intended. But uh, we know Arnold's not. Arnold is not coming back. He's already said he's gone on record to say that he didn't really enjoy the way that some people were treated in like Terminator Dark Fate. Like he didn't like the direction it went. So he's uh so sadly I don't think we're going to be getting a probably if we get a T7 it's probably not going to be very good. There's rumors that like Stallone could be in it. There's rumors that like John Cena could be in it. There's a lot of rumors about it. But I have no idea what it's going to be like. But I hope it's at least good. Usually by the trailer, if you see the trailer, it'll usually tell. Like, although sadly, I don't know if I need to see the trailer because if you've kept along with the Terminator trailers, they spoil some big plot points. Judgment Day, the trailer for Judgment Day, the trailer for Salvation and Genesis all let on extremely big plot points. Like Judgment Day let on the fact that uh, the Terminator was good, which would have been a great surprise if they didn't put that in there and it didn't market it as that because if that had just been a surprise, it would have been great. But sadly, it wasn't that. We knew immediately he was going to be good. So we weren't surprised when he was like, get down. Salvation pointed out the fact that Marcus Wright is a Terminator, which people were not happy with, and people were infuriated when they spoiled in the trailer about that John Connor was a Terminator. So there's a lot of things that the Terminator franchise has done to get people angry. It's not been received well in recent memory for a long time. Yeah, but Dark Fate was such an enormous bomb by the box office. I have no idea if they'll even think about doing it again. Because all I know is I'm infuriated that the fact that some sort of fans decided to sabotage the film, not even allowing other people to make their decision for us. We're not getting a sequel to by far the most interesting movie we've gotten since Judgment Day. It's between that and Salvation for the most interesting. Might be that one though. I would have loved a sequel, but because the fans sabotaged it, even there's films like very few films I will say do not see in theaters. Do not. I will say make your own decision. Very few films I will go on record to say do not see in theaters. But since people sabotage it online, we don't get a sequel. Sadly. Yeah, this prison scene can be dark because we're seeing a lot of really messed up things happening to people. In terms of thing, I think there's like a reference to like a rape scene in this. I believe there is one. It's nowhere near as like rape is only implied in like one scene of the third one. It's full on in your face in the fourth one, and seven. Not seven. Yeah, I got it in my head because I was talking about if there's going to be a Terminator 7. Uh, Rambo 5, Last Blood, has to do with sex cartels, Mexican cartels that are sex traffickers. So it has a lot to do with that. So, oof, making it dark. But this is one of the most lighthearted compared to what's going to happen in 4 and 5. Who do we have in the chat? Do we still have people in the chat? It says we still have Philip in here. Hopefully, I haven't just been talking to someone that's not here the entire time. That would be embarrassing. Ooh, a flamethrower. Wait, was that being used on someone? Because if so, yikes. That's messed up. Ugh. This can be pretty nasty at times. It doesn't show any of this stuff because even then for the 80s, that was too messed up to show in the 80s, but for what they're doing apparently, like the flamethrower, I think, but even then, if we had seen that in John Rambo, they probably would have shown it. They do use a flamethrower on a house, which I do believe it had I think they threw a kid into the fire. That was a messed up movie right there. Like they throw kids in fires in the fourth one. It is they are not trying to be nice at all in the fourth. This is completely messed up people. Like okay, Philip, what's your opinion about Jurassic World? Good or bad movie? In my eyes, it's a really bad film. You're not gonna like this. I at one point said it was my favorite Jurassic movie and was in my top three of all time. I believe. I think I preferred it over The Dark Knight at one point. I changed drastically. I think it's a really good movie. It's really entertaining. I think it's really entertaining. I do really enjoy it. It's I can't handle it can't hold a candle to Jurassic Park, but I would say I still find it really enjoyable. I also do enjoy Fallen Kingdom enough. I got burnt out of it after I just kept on watching. I watched Jurassic World 1 and then 2 on a loop every single day. Sometimes I would like watch Jurassic World 2 times a day because I would just watch the original, then I would watch the second, then the original, then the second. I did that on loop for like a month, which is why the both films I've seen like 1,000 times. Oh, that scene's also used in the flashback of John Rambo. Wow, most of these are plucked from Rambo 3 of those flashbacks. Yeah, but in Dominion, I have nostalgia. I mean, not nostalgia, but Dominion I saw in theater, so I'm a bit kinder to it than most. So it's one of the few films I've actually seen in theaters. I don't see many films in theaters. I've seen some, like Die Hard, I saw in theaters a few days ago because I needed to. I really wanted to. So I'm kinder to Dominion the most. I understand it's probably not a very good film, but I find it entertaining. Especially since like that scene on the island where as soon as like everything all hell breaks loose and all the dinosaurs just go everything just goes on full on insanity. Everyone just is like complete chaos. So I really enjoy that part about it. Yeah, this is the part I really like. There's so much action here. So much. That's what puts it over part two. This is a really decent film. Rambo has so many poses in this one. This guy's awesome. Oh yeah, yeah, he just got impaled. Oh wait, I remember that he cartilizes his wound in that scene, but I thought that was because he had a bullet in himself. He didn't get stabbed. Although I know Rambo is awesome in this. He just does so many awesome things. And he's now killing people while having a child on his back that he's having to carry while doing this. He is awesome. And the fact that he can hit his target every time and he's not even aiming, all he's doing is shooting. He doesn't like do what John Wick does in the franchise of John Wick and just like he has the gun up to his eyes and is looking. He just full on just shoots. He does not aim at all. That's what most of the things in the 80s do. If you take a look at all these like 80s action movies, they're not aiming in the lens like John Wick does. He's just full on. They're just like full on. They have it around their like waist and they're just shooting it, looking cool. It's like we don't have time to do all that accurate stuff. Let's just shoot and hope we aim at our target and get it. And everything else is collateral damage. Hmm. Who do we still have in the chat? I think I might be the only one here. It says Philip's still here, but I don't know if that's true. I can't tell if anyone's here. Yeah, the action scene like this like little enclosed like sewer or cave type thing is really entertaining. Where like the people are shooting at him and he has like the kid and the grown up with him. This is awesome. Take the kid. Stallone is awesome in this one. It's between this one and part two for his worst performance, but I think he might have a better performance in. It's honestly, I don't know. He I think talks more in part two. I think than he does in three. So he has more dramatic stuff. I think like especially at like the end, but he's not very dramatic in one in two or three at all. Like one is by probably his best performance. Then it's one and five has by far his best performance. I think we can usually all agree on that. His performance in Last Blood and his performance in the original First Blood are great. The troops are ready, sure. Go after them immediately. I'm reading the subtitles because they're speaking in Russian. Yeah, I think I'm alone in the chat right now. Oh, yep, another rocket launcher scene. Yep, he's gonna do it. Yeah! I love when he uses a rocket launcher to blow stuff up. Even 4 and 5 don't have that. That's something that I can say. 4 and 5 in terms of their like action, like the rocket launcher gun type fights. The gun fights, 4 and 5 can't hold a candle to 2 and 3. 2 and 3 have more gunfights. 4 is more like knife, hand to hand combat at times. Because that's more what Rambo does. In 4 and 5, he doesn't usually have guns. He kills several men in the fourth one using a gun in a certain scene, but it's only like one scene. This bastard tried to destroy me tonight, but he failed. He is very angry. Who do you think this man is? Who do you think this man is? God. God would have mercy. He won't. Rambo cannot be. He has his times where Rambo is not really merciful. We can at least say that he has his moments, especially in Last Blood. There's a certain scene involving what he does to a certain guy. He is not merciful at all. He is quite the opposite in that scene. And if you've seen Last Blood, you know what I'm talking about. Whew. Yeah, Rambo's so good in this. Yeah, it says I'm the only one that chat. Apparently, I think everyone left. Great. Oh, I know what happens next. Oh yeah, here it comes. We get to see him cartelize the lunar. I think that's what think that's what it's called, cartelizing it. He's now pushing the. It's not. I think it's a. It's like a spike. Yeah, I think the stick got put shoved in there. Yeah, it's a stick, I believe. So that's what happened. So he like shoved the stick out using his thumb. And now this is the best part, probably. Now we all know what happens now. Oh wait, no, that was a big bullet, I think, or so. It's something that had gunpowder. So now he's dumping the gunpowder in there, and then here it comes. He's about to light himself on fire to cartelize it. That'll mean it stops the bleeding, so he can fight. I'm really struggling to see would that actually happen. Would that actually survive? I'm now playing to find out. Yeah, that really must have hurt. If Rambo gets hurt by something, that means that it's really painful. Because Rambo can stand quite a bit. He was in Vietnam. He should. I don't know why I'm still talking like this, and there's no one in the chat, so. Now this is like the hunt for Rambo. If there's one thing Rambo knows how to do, he can get on people's nerves with the amount of stuff he does. He's like John McClane. He gets on the bad guy's nerves because of how much he can take care of, how much he just destroys these people. This guy is awesome. But in this one, he gets more of the action. Okay, only 27 minutes left. Bye bye. Mm, iconic scenes. Let's find out. Yeah, this is really where like the one-liner start, where he's every line is just meant to be like a one-liner to put in the trailer. This this villain is really not happy. This is definitely more violent than part two. It's definitely probably the most violent in of the first three. Of the first three, it probably gets progressively more violent. The series also probably gets progressively more violent until five dipped slightly. It's still extremely, extremely bloody, but four is more bloody than five is. We're going down. Yeah, you can really see the budget on display in this movie. Quick little water break. The good thing about this one is this is like the this is actually never mind. No, I'm thinking the fourth one, not the third one. This is a movie I want to see in theaters. I want to see all the Rambo movies in theaters. I'll have to wait till I'm grown up because they're all rated R. Two and three are not as hard R's as like four and five are. Not really. Don't to be fair, he got impaled. He has the right to be a bit of pain. Yeah, here comes the arrows. This is one of the most awesome movies of the '80s. And there's that iconic shot of seeing him Rambo with it, and the bad guy's destroyed. Oh wait, no, that wasn't the bad guy. I got it wrong. Sorry, not the bad guy. Don't know why I'm still talking. I don't know if anyone's gonna be watching this on replay since they don't get to ask their questions. So I'm basically just talking to people that probably won't be. That probably won't be uh, watching. But anyway, I'll just do it. I'll just do it. Well done. No, you're not. I'm sorry I got you into this, John. No, you're not. This is just such a great movie. It's like 3.5 or borderline 4. Probably still 3.5 at the moment, but it's still good. In terms of entertainment, it's still it's way higher than a 3.5 star movie would be in terms of entertainment. But I would still say some of the flaws keep it to 3.5. But I would say it's more entertaining than the 3.5 movie. It's like 74% probably. Actually, no, 77% on my entertainment scale. Yeah, there's that. Rambo just I love how he also like uses the bow and arrows as well as like the knives and the guns. He has all sorts of things he uses. I'm your worst nightmare. Mm. Another great explosion. This is so yeah. You really see the budget. What's happening down there? Rambo is taking down all these people on his own with Troutman helping a tiny bit. Although we all know who's doing most of the work. This is definitely one of the greatest scenes in the entire franchise, with just him taking down all these people. What is that sound effect that they keep using in like 2 and 3? This is a big tonal shift from the first two. I mean, from the first one, from the fact that one is like it's like such a big tonal shift from the first one to 2 and 3. I still cannot. I still am like, wow, they really did go. That is such a tonal shift. Boom. He has some really good upper body strength. I wouldn't be able to do that. Definitely. Oh yeah, he's really roughed up. That guy. That's actually a pretty brutal looking face. This is some awesome fights. These guys are really roughing each other up. Although we all know who is winning. Obviously, Rambo. Rambo is probably the character that would means more to. I mean, as just a character, I would probably say I like Rocky Balboa more. He's my favorite movie character. But the one that am more likely to probably have grown up with as an action fan would probably have been Rambo. Although I would say I resonated a bit more with Rambo as a character for an action guy. Oh yeah, I think he just pulled a grenade thing. And we all know what's about to happen. Boom. His neck gets snapped first, and then he gets blown up. Ouch and double ouch. This is Stallone. This guy is so awesome. We did it, John. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is where it gets full. This is where it gets really insane. This is like definitely where most of the budget came from, probably. That iconic shot of just all those like tanks. Like, apparently, Rambo and Chapman are a big deal. Drop the weapon now. The fact that I think that they try and justify the fact that Rambo's about to like destroy this many people is a bit odd. Yeah. Oh yeah, but aiming's for morons apparently. Apparently you don't need to aim with a gun. You can just have it around your waist and just keep shooting and everything every time you actually hit your target. Oh yeah, this is where it goes. This is where they defeat the army. This is awesome. This has one of the most awesome third acts. Although to be fair, the Rambo movies usually have a great third act. The First Blood is a pretty decent third act with like where Rambo's like destroying the town. That's definitely probably my favorite of them because I just think it's awesome. That's one of the most rewatchable parts about it. I just love the way he just is destroying everything. Part two, third act's a bit crazier. The threes also just goes on full on insanity. Fourth one's third act is extremely violent and brutal, and is also insane. Same thing with the fifth one. It goes the third act of Rambo Last Blood is basically Home Alone for grown-ups, which I'm not saying that Last Blood copied Home Alone, which it didn't. People are just wanting another excuse to pick on the film. Rambo's been setting traps since First Blood. Home Alone copied Rambo, if anything. So if people say that Last Blood copied Home Alone, they're just wrong. How long is left on the movie? 10 minutes. There's 10 minutes left on the movie. Oh yeah, no, that's the iconic image of him with with him on the horse, with a bomb in one hand, and that backfired. He just fell off the horse. He just got shot in the leg. How is he even walking? That's where it's like gets over the top. Like, dude, come on. He's just got shot in the leg. You have to make. I don't even know. Yeah, he's now in a tank. The tank just got shot with a thing that would have probably destroyed the tank. Come on. Although, as well as having armor because it's a tank, it also has plot armor because of the fact that it's Rambo, so you can't kill him. So this is awesome. So many iconic, just like explosions here. Yeah, I can really believe this was the most expensive movie when it came out. I can't remember the budget. All I know is the budget was insane. Well, at least for the time. Nowadays, you got like $300 million for like a budget, which explains why it's like always. The tank just crashed into a helicopter. It would not have survived that. No way. In There's no chance. If this was like the bad guys in here, they definitely would have destroyed it. No way it would have happened. It's really starting to strain some credibility. Poor Rambo. Yeah, he must be exhausted. I don't think he slept in a day. He's been up a lot. He may have rested in the cave, but even then, I don't know if he did. I mean, he might have. This is a really touching scene. Can you not stay? I've got to go. I believe Rambo is Rambo Italian and is Rambo Italian because I know Stallone is Italian. I believe he is, but I cannot tell. Is he using an accent in this? It feels like he kind of uses it. But I was told that he's partially Native American, which is odd. Which I need to get clarified. Now it's just Troutman and Rambo talking in their like Jeep. You think we're getting soft? Maybe just a little. They just killed like 100 people. Maybe more. This that was awesome. Well, not my favorite in the franchise. This was awesome. There we go. Well, I just finished Rambo 3, and since we have no one in here, we are about to end. But before I do, I will just like to say, everyone, please like and subscribe if you have not already. Hit that like button for this stream, it helps out a lot. But thank you all so much for joining in for the little time that you did. So, thank you all so much for watching. And make sure to tune in for my much more disturbing have to watch movies with John Rambo and Rambo Last Blood. And thank you all so much for watching.